Hello, Swatantra TV viewers. I am Mahima, welcoming you to our English bulletin with latest news, updates, and analysis. Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy has hit out at the BJP and alleged that Prime Minister Narendra Modi insulted Telangana in the past with comments on the state's formation in parliament. Modi had commented that the then Congress-led United Progressive Alliance government closed the doors of parliament when the bill for Telangana's formation was passed and that Andhra Pradesh was killed, Revant Reddy claimed. The Congress fulfilled the promise of Telangana's formation though it was decimated in Andhra Pradesh post-bifurcation, the Chief Minister said on Sunday. Does Modi have the right to seek votes in Telangana when he insulted the state? He asked while addressing a rally in support of the Congress Bhuvanagiri candidate Chamla Kiran Kumar Reddy. Modi has not fulfilled the assurances given to Telangana in the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, including setting up a steel plant, railway coach factory and others in the state, Revant Reddy said. He also alleged that democratic systems are collapsing in the country with the misuse of institutions under the Modi regime. The Congress is contesting the elections with support of the left parties in Telangana, with Deputy Chief Minister Mallu Bhatti Vikramarka visiting their offices and holding consultations, Revant Reddy said.
ఈ దేశ ప్రధానమంత్రి నరేంద్ర మోడీ గారు నిన్న మాట్లాడుతూ కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ అధికారంలోకి వస్తే హిందువుల ఆస్తులు గుంజుకొని ముస్లింలకు పంచి పెడతారని అన్నారు. ఒక సెక్యులర్ కంట్రీ డాక్టర్ బాబాసాహెబ్ అంబేద్కర్ రచించిన రాజ్యాంగం, ఆ రాజ్యాంగం మీద ప్రమాణం చేసిన ప్రధానమంత్రి రెండు మతాల మధ్యలో చిచ్చు పెట్టే విధంగా మాట్లాడుతున్నాడంటే ఓటమి నరేంద్ర మోడీని వెంటాడుతుంది, వేటాడుతుంది. నరేంద్ర మోడీ భయపడి ఈ రోజు మతాల మధ్యలో చిచ్చు పెట్టాలనుకున్నాడు. ఎన్నికల్లో గెలవాలని ప్రయత్నం చేస్తే తప్పులేదు, కానీ దేశాన్ని మత ప్రాతిపదికన విభజించి చిచ్చు పెట్టి రాజకీయ ప్రయోజనం పొందాలని చూస్తున్నారు. ఇది దేశానికి మంచిదా? ఒక్కసారి ఆలోచన చేయండి. అశాంతి పెట్టేగి మన మధ్యలో పంచాయతీలు పెడితే ఈ దేశం కుప్పగూలుతుంది, దేశానికి తీరని నష్టం జరుగుతుంది. అందుకే భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీని ఓడించాలి, కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీని గెలిపించాలి.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday accused the Congress of planning to redistribute people's property if it is voted to power. Echoing the remarks made a day earlier in Rajasthan, Modi said at a poll rally here that the Congress planned to conduct a survey people's possessions and redistribute them. He said the people of Aligarh had put a lock on dynastic politics, corruption and appeasement practiced by the two princes. He was referring to Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav, who are fighting the Lok Sabha elections as allies. Modi accused the Congress of following a policy of appeasement and yet doing nothing to uplift the social and economic condition of Muslims. He cited the enactment of a law against instant triple talaq during the term of his government as a move that helped Muslim women. He also mentioned the increase in the Hajj quota for Indian pilgrims.
माताओं बहनों का सोना चुराने का इरादा इतना ही नहीं, वो सर्वे करना चाहते हैं कि जो नौकरी पेशा वर्ग है, जो कर्मचारी है, उन्होंने अपनी बच्चों की पढ़ाई के लिए, बच्चों की शादी के लिए जो एफडी की है, फिक्स डिपॉजिट की है, किसकी कितनी सैलरी और कितनी एफडी है, उसकी भी जांच होगी. किसके पास एक वाहन है, किसके पास दो वाहन है, उसकी भी जांच होगी. यानी किसके पास कितनी जमीन है, उसकी भी जांच होगी. व्हीकल कितने हैं, उसकी जांच होगी. कांग्रेस इसका सर्वे कराएगी और फिर कांग्रेस कब्जा करेगी. सरकार के नाम पर कब्जा करके आपकी संपत्ति को छीन करके बांटने की बात कर रही है. कांग्रेस यहां तक जाएगी. अगर आपका गांव में पुराना पैतृक घर है, बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए आपने शहर में मानो छोटा फ्लैट ले लिया, और अगर पता चला कि आपका गांव में भी एक घर है, तो दो में से एक छीन लेंगे कि आपको दो की जरूरत नहीं है, जिसको नहीं उसको दे देंगे. कांग्रेस के लोग कहेंगे कि आपके पास गांव में एक घर तो पहले से ही है। ये माओवादी सोच है, ये कम्युनिस्टों की सोच है। ऐसा करके कितने ही देशों को वो पहले बर्बाद कर चुके हैं। अब यही नीति ये कांग्रेस पार्टी और इंडिया अलायंस भारत में लागू करना चाहती है। आपकी मेहनत की कमाई, आपकी संपत्ति पर कांग्रेस अपना पंजा मारना चाहती है। आपका
Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy's assets grew by 41% during the last 5 years at 529 rupees 50 crore, while he declared an income of 57.75 crore rupees for the year 2022-23. Jagan had, during the 2019 assembly polls, declared 375.20 crore rupees worth of assets. Pulivendula local YSR Congress party leaders filed the nomination with authorities on behalf of Jagan on Monday. According to the affidavit with the Election Commission, Jagan's wife Bharati Reddy has assets, both movable and immovable, worth 176.30 crore rupees. The YSR Congress chief is contesting from Pulivendula Assembly constituency. Bharti also has gold and diamonds of 6.4 kilograms whose market value is at 5.30 crore rupees. Most of Jagan and his wife's assets are in the form of shares they hold in various companies: Bharti Siemens, Saraswati Siemens and Sandur Power. Minister Narendra Modi will go down in history as the PM who has overseen the largest sale and mortgage of gold jewelry owned by Indian women, said the Congress. Addressing a rally in Rajasthan's Banswara, Modi alleged the Congress plans to give people's hard-earned money and valuables to infiltrators and those who have more children. In a post on X, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh said, Prime Minister Modi will go down in history as the PM who has overseen the largest scale sale and mortgage of the gold jewelry owned by Indian women. Economic disasters like demonetization, a badly designed GST, and the Modi government's unplanned lockdown and poor COVID relief packages have pushed India's households into the highest levels of debt that touched 40% of the GDP, he said. Net savings are at 5% of GDP, which is the lowest level ever. Families have been forced to sell their gold or take loans by pledging their gold as collateral, a state of distress and desperation, Ramesh said. In February of 2024, gold loans crossed the 1 lakh rupees crore mark for the first time in India's history. These are shameful statistics, the Congress leader said. Former Minister T. Harish Rao on Monday appealed to the people to reject both the Congress and BJP candidates in the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections. He said that he has good reasons to say that there are 100 factors to ensure that the Congress and BJP are rejected. Speaking to media persons after an internal meeting with BRS key leaders in the Sangreddy Assembly segment on Monday, Harish Rao said that the people of Telangana would not vote for Congress because the party failed to keep its election promises even 4.5 months after it came to power. He asked Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy whether he would resign from his post if he failed to implement a 100% farm loan waiver by 15 August. The loan waiver is expected to cost the exchequer around 39,000 crore rupees. Harish Rao said that the Congress failed to deliver on its promise of an increase in input subsidy for farmers, 500 rupees bonus per quintal of paddy, enhanced Asra pensions, 1 tola gold as part of Kalyana Lakshmi to eligible brides. He regretted that an increasing number of farmers are committing suicides due to distress, but the Congress government failed to come to their rescue.
కేసీఆర్ గారు తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రాన్ని సాధించి ఈ రాష్ట్రాన్ని దేశానికి మోడల్గా నిలిపిన కేసీఆర్ గారి పట్ల నువ్వు ఆ వ్యక్తిగత దూషణలు నీ చెడ్డీ లాగుతా అది ముఖ్యమంత్రి మాట్లాడే మాటనా నీ స్థాయికి తగిన మాటనా ఆ ప్రజలకు కావాల్సింది అదా ఇవాళ మోడీతో రేవంత్ రెడ్డి గారు కుమ్మక్కైందని రాష్ట్రం అంతా అనుకుంటుంది స్వయంగా కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ నాయకులు కూడా నమ్ముతున్నారు కానీ నువ్వేంది మోడీ కేసీఆర్ ఒకటైందని చెప్పి ఉల్టా మాట్లాడుతుంటావు దబాయి వెనకటికైతే దొంగతనం చేసిన దొంగనే దొంగ అని బిగ్గరగా గరిచిండట నువ్వు రేవంత్ రెడ్డితో కుమ్మక్కై అదానితో అలాయి బలాయి చేసుకొని బడే బాయ్ రాహుల్ గాంధీనేమో బాయి అంటావు మన మోడీ గారినేమో బడే బాయ్ అంటావు అర్థమవుతలేదా నీకు రాహుల్ గాంధీ బాయ్ అయిపోయిండు మోడీ గారు బడే బాయ్ అయిపోయిండు రాహుల్ గాంధీ ఏమో అదాని మంచోడు కాదంటాడు నువ్వేమో అదాని ముద్దొస్తుందంటావు అర్థమైతలేదా ఇప్పుడు ఎవరితో దోస్తానం చేస్తున్నారు.
Domestic air traffic touched a new single-day high of 471,751 passengers on Sunday, according to official data. The traffic on Sunday was more than 14% higher than the average pre-COVID count of 398,579. On 21st April, the total number of domestic air passengers stood at 471,751 and the number of flights was 6,128, as per the data from the Civil Aviation Ministry. This is higher than the domestic air traffic of 428,389 passengers and 5,899 flights recorded on 21st April in 2023. In a post on X, the ministry said India's domestic aviation is every day at a new high. Domestic aviation in India is witnessing unprecedented growth, driven by factors such as concrete policies, economic development, and expansion of low-cost carriers. As more people gain access to air travel, the sector is expected to continue its upward trajectory, it said. Last week, aviation regulator DGCA said passengers carried by domestic airlines during January to March 2024 were 391.46 lakhs as against 375.04 lakhs during the corresponding period of the previous year, registering an annual growth of 4.38% and monthly growth of 3.68%. As elections are drawing closer, the key opposition Telugu Desam Party has reportedly deployed non-resident Indiana into the race. A video featuring a prominent non-resident Indian Komti Jairam stressing the need to lure the voters towards the Telugu Desam Party by hook or crook. He was heard saying that these stupid fellows would not vote for the Telugu Desam Party. It is necessary to identify such persons in every village and entice them by spending rupees 3 to 4 lakhs to meet their needs, he was heard saying. He was also heard saying that non-resident India can afford to spend rupees 3 to 4 lakh. The immediate need is to entire at least 10 families in each village and influence them to vote for the Telugu Desam Party. Jairam reportedly made these comments at a secret conclave. A video of the meeting went viral on social media platforms. Not a difficult task.
ఇప్పుడు మనం వీ నీడ్ టు బి ఫోకస్డ్గా వెళ్తేనే పని జరుగుతుంది. ఆల్ వీ నీడ్ టు డూ ఈజ్ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ ఒక 5 to 10 ఫ్యామిలీస్. మనకు తెలుసు మన ఊరు వెళ్తే ఈ యదవ మనకు ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లో ఓటు వెయ్యడు అనేది మనకు తెలుసు. వాడిని మార్చడంలో మన నైపుణ్యం ఉపయోగించాలి. వాడిని ఏ రకంగా అయినా కానీ మనకున్న ఎబిలిటీతో, వాడికి పిల్లలు ఉంటారు, పెళ్ళం ఉంటుంది, అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. వాడి అవసరం ఏంటో తెలుసుకొని దానికి మనం ట్యూన్ చేసుకోగలిగితే డెఫినెట్గా ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ మారితే 4-5 ఓట్లు మారుతాయి. దట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఈచ్ కాన్స్టిట్యున్సీలో 1000 ఓట్లు మార్చగలిగినా కూడా మనం ఆ దూరం నుంచి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినందుకు న్యాయం చేసిన వాళ్ళం అవుతాం. 2-3 లక్షల రూపాయలతో, ఒకవేళ డబ్బుతోటే మార్చగలిగినా కూడా 2-3 లక్షలతో ఆ 10 కుటుంబాలని మార్చగలిగిన కెపాసిటీ మనకుంది. ఈ రూమ్లో ఉండవాడికి 2 లక్షలు ఖర్చు పెట్టడం అనేది పెద్ద ఇష్యూయే కాదు. ఇట్ ద క్రిటికల్ టైం. ఈ 1 month టైంలో ఇంకా మనకి దెర్ ఇస్ నో హనీమూన్. ఇట్ ఈస్ అ డూ ఆర్ డై సిచ్యువేషన్ లాగా మనం గోల్ ఓరియంటెడ్గా వెళ్దాం. దానికి మేము అందరం సిద్ధంగా ఉన్నాం సార్.
The Congress on Monday announced the names of 28 more candidates for the upcoming assembly polls in Andhra Pradesh and also replaced candidates in 10 constituencies declared earlier. The Central Election Committee of the party announced candidates for Srikakulam, Vishakhapatnam North, Vijayawada East, Ongole, Kadapa, Srisailam, Hindupur among others. According to a press release issued by the All India Congress Committee, L. Rama Rao will contest from Vishakhapatnam North, S. Padmashri from Vijayawada East, T. Kalyal Azil Ali Khan Kadapa and R. Aswardha Narayana from Dharmavram. The party has also replaced candidates in 10 constituencies. With today's announcement, the Congress has come up with the names of candidates for 154 constituencies. The CPI, Congress and CPIM are India bloc partners in Andhra Pradesh. The Congress has allotted 8 seats each to the CPI and CPIM. The India bloc's seat-sharing arrangement has been done for 170 assembly seats and candidates for 5 seats are yet to be announced. Elections for the 175-member assembly seats in Andhra Pradesh are scheduled on 13th May and the counting of votes is slated for 4th June. Equity benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty climbed nearly 1% each on Monday amid a rally in Asian and European markets, decline in Brent crude oil prices and buying by foreign investors. Extending its previous day's rebound, the 30-share BSE Sensex climbed 560.29 points or 0.77% to settle at 73,648.62. During the day, it advanced 679.47 points or 0.92% to 73,767.80. The NSE Nifty went up by 189.40 points or 0.86% to 22,336.40. From the Sensex basket, Larsen & Toubro, Bajaj Finance, Axis Bank, State Bank of India, Ultratech Cement, Wipro, ICICI Bank, Infosys, HCL Technologies and Asian Paints were the major gainers. NTPC, JSW Steel and HDFC Bank were the laggards. In Asian markets, Seoul, Tokyo, and Hong Kong settled in the positive territory while Shanghai ended lower. European markets were trading with gains. Wall Street ended on a mixed note on Friday. Global oil benchmark Brent crude declined 0.80% to $86 and 59 cents a barrel. The Indian market extended last Friday's relief rally as Middle East tensions saw some respite, though the situation remains fluid. The recovery was broad-based across sectors, with renewed interest in mid and small caps. Oil prices showed some relief but are still at elevated levels, he added. Foreign institutional investors turned buyers on Friday and they bought equities worth 129.39 crore rupees, according to exchange data. Here are today's news. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV every day. This is Mahima, signing off. Keep watching Swatantra TV.